So I suspect today might be a slightly shorter webinar, but I'm going to introduce something that I'm hoping that we can use as a whole group. So during the Christmas programme, we use something called Whoop, which is a simple way of planning ahead. And I trialled it out during the Christmas programme, which a few of you were on, and having thought about it over the last few months, I'm really keen to use this as a tool, not only for you personally, but as a tool in the group which we can use when people are going through difficult times, because I often feel that we really want to help each other when things have gone wrong, when we've dropped the ball, when we've got an emotional roller coaster coming up, if we've got an event coming up that we're not sure about, but we sometimes lack the tools to help each other. So I'm hoping that this will be useful for you, whether you're still in the process of changing your drinking, whether you're sticking and using your skills and knowledge to help each other, or actually if you've got another goal. So if you're in the mindful eating group, or if you're trying to give up smoking, Joe, or if you're doing anything else, then this is also useful for you. It's a behaviour change technique. I've been using it to try and help me get back into swimming and the gym over recent weeks. So what is it? Well, it's a system called Whoop, which means wish, outcome, obstacle, plan. I like it because you can remember it. I like it because it makes a really positive sounding word, whoop whoop. And it means that if it's easy to remember, that you can use it as a tool anytime. And you can also use it to plan your big goal ahead. And you can use it just as a plan to get through the morning or an event or something very specific in your day. This will work for any of these occasions that you may come across. And because it's quick and easy to do, you'll be able to use it if you are suddenly confronted with a situation or if you want to plan ahead. So let's go through it. So I haven't got my computer with my notes on as normal, so I've tried to do some visual aids today. I've gone mad with the dry whiteboard marker. And I'm also, let me just check, I've also tried to do it because I'm not sure if you've noticed, but on Facebook Live things come backwards. Oh, is that still backwards? No, that is a P the right way around. So anyways, I've been trying to guess how Facebook Live will make things see, and I'm not sure if I've quite got there. But anyway, so let's go through Whoop in a bit more detail. So Whoop means wish. Now that could mean a wish like, I want to give up drinking, or I want to get through this week without drinking, or I want to get through this event without drinking, or I want to moderate my drinking. Or you might just want to talk about, I want to get through today without having an alcoholic drink. Whatever your wish is, I want you to state it loud and proud. Now, it may be a big goal, like I've said, about changing drinking. It might be about an event. I want to go to this event and not drink. I want to avoid this person. So it could be about a person, a place, or a thing. But I want you to name it. I want you to think about it. And I want you to then bring your wish into three very distinct words. My wish is I wish to give up drinking. I wish to get through today. I wish to do whatever. But try and break down your wish into three very clear words that you can really remember. And so, like I said, this could be for planning your next 6 months, or it could be just about planning today. It could be planning something that you know might be an emotional roller coaster in today, or it could be something a bit more longer term that you're working towards. It doesn't matter what it is, you can articulate this wish. So in the Christmas programme, people articulated the type of Christmas they wanted. I wish to have a Christmas where I feel happy and content and don't drink, So it's your wish. State it loud and proud, and try and bring it down to 3 to 6 words and not like write an essay, because I want this to be something you remember. But do write it down. Do write it down on your notes in your phone. Email it to yourself. Write it on a notepad in the evening or in the morning. or a bit later on, I'm going to give you all access to a little online tool that will email it to you. But state your wish. So that's the first bit. The second bit is the O. I was going to write objective and outcome and obstacle here, and then realise that would still come across backwards, and that was too many words for me, which is why this is stuck in one side of the board. Next is to talk about your outcome. So I wish to not drink for the next 3 months. And if I do that, if I achieve that, I'll be happier. I might be lighter. My mind might be calmer. I will feel proud of myself. I would have gone longer than any time before. But really talk about what it is that you will achieve if you manage to achieve your wish. Because we all have big wishes. We all say, I want to be a supermodel. I want to be brilliant. I want to be amazing at work. I want to be more energetic. But we often don't ever say what it is that will be the outcome of achieving that. So what is it that will be the outcome if you achieve that? How will you feel? What will you hear? So for me, and I'll talk about this a bit more, it's about not eating cake in the afternoon. It's really hard. But for me, I know that it will help me lose weight. But more than that, it will help me feel more in control of my eating. And if I feel more in control of my eating, I feel more confident about other things in my life. I will feel lighter, not just in body mass, but in terms of not feeling so guilty about eating cake. I will also feel that I've got a sense of control over something that was spiralling away from me. So I know that it's not just about the wish, I just don't want to eat cake. It's about what I know I will get out of that by achieving that goal. So you might want to talk about it in terms of how that may feel for you, what you might hear from other people, what you may see when you look in the mirror. For some of you around drinking, it may be a less puffy face. You may notice that the whites of your eyes get whiter and not so yellow. It may be that your skin feels better. So you can actually go to town on this and write quite a long list. If you're talking about maybe getting through an event today, having an outcome that's around something very immediate and very specific, how might you feel if you go through the evening and you stick to your moderation goal? How will you feel if you, what would the outcome be if you manage to go through an event this evening where you haven't drunk? How will you feel if you get through today when you're sat in front of the television and you don't have a glass of wine? So again, like I say, this doesn't have to be about the big all the time, although it's really good to set one of these at the start of your next set of goal setting. It could be very specific around today or around event. How will I feel if Derek from accounts asks me to go out for a drink, and therefore my wish is to not drink alcohol when I'm out with Derek for accounts? I feel quite sorry for Derek from accounts. I use him all the time. But if Derek from accounts asks me out for a drink, my wish is to not drink alcohol when I'm with Derek. What will the outcome be? I will feel dead chuffed that I managed to go out for a drink with the person who always puts pressure on me to drink and not have drunk. I will feel proud. So once again, bring down the outcome that you are hoping for into 3 to 6 words. And again, write it down and probably write it down and have it somewhere where you can get hold of it. I'm slowly rubbing off all this whiteboard marker as I keep dropping these boards. Okay, so if I get my wish, I will manage to do this. Then there's the next O in Whoop, which is about obstacle. And this is the really important part. We talk about obstacles all the time. You know, what are your trigger events? What are the things that get in your way? Who are the people, places and things? Is it today, is it Derek in accounts? But tomorrow night, will it be that it's your first Friday night and you normally drink on a Friday night because you feel you deserve a drink at the end of the week? Is it a particular internal feeling? Is my obstacle that when I get home from work, I feel like I deserve something that helps to de-stress me? Or is your obstacle that you always open a bottle of wine when you're cooking? Or is your obstacle that your partner may encourage you to have a drink? Or is your obstacle that somebody will try and persuade you to go for after work drinks? Or is it that you're passing a particular place that you remember having happy times, getting drunk at? So it could be a person, a place, a thing, or a feeling. It could be that you know that your wine witch or your internal saboteur is going to be having a go because your day has been stressful. So those obstacles can be absolutely anything. And just to tell you, Carwyn, I will come and do a recap shortly, but it serves you right for being late. That's all I can say. So so think about what your obstacle, and then you need to plan. And I know that we're really boring, and I always talk about planning, but once you know your obstacle, if this happens, I will do this. So your plan is what you're going to do instead. So for me, on my cake dilemma, when I feel like, when I get to that point in the afternoon when my blood sugar's low, which is when I often want to have a cake, then my plan is to always have on hand a naked bar and make sure I eat that instead. So I've got a very clear and definite plan. It may be that your plan, if you're looking long term, if you're, for example, taking the next month off drinking, your plan might be to have a really robust plan and to do a whoop every morning so that you know you can get through the day. You may decide that part of your plan is to get alternative drinks in. Your plan might be to sign up to some online yoga so that you've got something to do if the feeling of wanting a drink and that craving comes up, where you're feeling discomfort. You may want to put together a survival kit so that you know you can get through the month. But go through your wish, your outcome, your obstacle, and then make sure you build a plan. So you can say, and I'll go back to Derek from accounts today. If Derek from accounts asks me for a drink, my wish is that I will go out and have a non-alcoholic drink with him. And if I do that, I'm going to feel really terrific that I've managed to still do something that I always used to do with a person, but not drink alcohol. The obstacle would be this: Derek is really persistent. He always really likes me to have a drink and he will keep pestering me. So when he does that, I will say very firmly to Derek, no, I am not drinking this month. I will get myself a drink. And I would already have planned the drink that I want from behind the bar because I would have sussed it out already. But I will be clear to Derek. So that's actually, you can see how you can use it for very small obstacles, small plans, or for the big picture stuff. So planning the whole month ahead. You've got the wish, the outcome, the obstacle, and the plan. So I'll go through it again briefly because I want you to ask any questions and I want to answer them shortly, but also to go through what I think they are. So your wish is, what's the bigger picture? What is it you really want to happen? What is it you want to achieve? I wish to stop eating cake in the afternoon. Now I've made that very specific and I've also brought it down to a few words. But like I said, it may be I wish to go alcohol free, and that's fine. Or it might be that during that journey to go alcohol free, you might have a day where you go, I want to not drink when I come home stressed today. You may even be in the car on the way home and go, I am stressed today and my wish is to not drink when I get home. Or it may be that you've got an evening out and you're planning a moderation day, and therefore you might have a moderation goal. My aim is to not drink more than 2 alcoholic drinks this evening. You see how that goes. So I wish, make it clear, make it bold, make it a proud statement. And then talk about what the outcome will be. Again, in 3 to 6 words, what will be the outcome if you fulfill your wish? So if I fulfill my wish to not eat cake, I will feel happier that I'm beginning to resist something that is a great temptation for me that I'm eating out of habit. Or it could be that if you achieve not drinking more than 2 alcoholic drinks this evening, you will feel a sense of control, and you will also feel fresh in your mind the following day. Then you need to look at your obstacles. Those obstacles can be internal or external. They can be people, places and things. They can be thoughts. Remember, thoughts are not orders. They are just thoughts. You don't have to act on them, but it's really good to be able to recognise them. And over your time changing your drinking, and even for those of you that have lapsed and have tried moderating, have come back again, you've learned a lot about your feelings. You know when that internal dialogue is going on in your head, and you know that the only way to beat it is logic. So it might be that you go, I know my wine witch will be going mad, my internal saboteur will be going mad today because I'm stressed. So my wish is not to drink when I'm stressed. The outcome is I'll feel happier and in control. The obstacle getting in the way is my own mind and my own internal saboteur that gives me a really hard time and tries to persuade me that I really want to drink. So my plan is to write down 5 things that I can look at really quickly that are logical to remind my internal saboteur that it's not right, that I don't want to drink, that the best way to deal with stress is something else. And I will also do A, B or C to relieve that stress. So if this obstacle occurs, I will run around the block, tell my internal saboteur to fuck off, and phone a friend and tell them that I told my internal saboteur to fuck off. You get the idea? Am I making sense, everybody? I hope so. So, like I said, this can work for you if you're doing anything to do with behaviour change. It is a behaviour change tool, and it's not dissimilar to many other things you would have heard or done in the past. But I think it gives you a really easy to remember framework to be able to use it really quickly on the spot. So if you find yourself in a situation you're unsure of, then you can use it. If you find yourself unhappy with some behaviour that you did yesterday because you were hoping to be alcohol free and you weren't, then you can use this to get back on track. And this is why I've brought it up today, because this isn't just about being a tool for you. I think this is quite a useful tool for the group. And I'll come on to that in a minute. But in terms of it being a really good tool for you, writing down your whoop every morning, maybe taking a bit of time. If you do a bit of meditation in the morning, you can write it down afterwards, or just taking a few minutes for yourself to write down your whoop and your plan is a really valuable time well spent. So actually see this as a piece of self-care. You know, sit down, get a favourite cup of tea, get a nice drink that isn't tea. I know I'm obsessed with tea, don't worry everybody. Get yourself a nice drink, put on some nice music, you know, your favourite cardigan or, you know, your pyjamas or whatever, and really make some time for yourself to make this small whoop plan, and then write it somewhere where you will see it, where it be useful to you. I do believe in having things with you in a mobile way so that you can look at them the minute that you feel that you're not in control of the situation, the time that you need to feel you need to remind yourself of the goal that you've set yourself. So really see this as a piece of self-care, really see it as something worth making time to do. And even if you're not someone who meditates, can you imagine just spending 5 minutes of your morning going through this process and using it will mean that your whole day is better planned and you won't be taken by surprise by an obstacle that comes your way. Do review it. If something didn't work, you know, review the whoop that you made yesterday. And if it didn't work, try and work out why it was. Was the obstacle different? Was your plan right? Could you have planned something different? Do you need to ask everyone else in the group about what plans they have for this particular obstacle? Could they give you some advice? It may be, of course, that your plan is to come on the group, which is a really good plan in its own right. But you'll begin to be able to unpick a little bit more about the things that trigger your behaviour and trigger you to do the things that you really don't want to do. So you can also use it as a process of review. And also don't think these things have to be set in stone, you know. So if you have set yourself a whoop for, you know, a month off drinking or a particular long-term goal, it doesn't mean that you can't go back and review your wish, review what the outcome will be, review your obstacles and review your plan. You can do all of this because remember, changing your drinking is a science experiment where you're both the subject and the scientist. And so you need to be able to keep a bit of a track of these things in order to have the data to make the right decisions. And of course, there's never any hard data when it comes to drinking, because it's all about emotions and other people and places that we've been and our identity and so on. So writing these things down is really important. Then I'll come on to why I think this is good for the group and how we can use it as a group. And I'm hoping that you will join me in this and we can begin to use this as a tool. But if you think about all those times where we've been really, we're all a bit anxious when somebody's having a hard time on the group, or that they've lapsed and are feeling really guilty and upset, or when people have got some emotional issues coming up and we often don't quite know how to respond, apart from with loving kindness, which we all do. We're all incredibly supportive of each other. But one thing we can start to do is to now say, well, okay, if you've lapsed and today you want to pick up again and restart, tell us your whoop. Make yourself accountable by writing down your wish, your outcome, your obstacle and plan. And if somebody didn't achieve what they wanted the night before or whatever, you're able to ask them, well, did you have a plan? How did it work? Did you know what you wanted to achieve from that? So I think it gives us a little bit more of a framework to begin to support each other with a few questions. Because there's a few times when we all go, well, if we're always nice to everybody who lapses and don't, you know, be a bit hard on them, surely they'll just keep lapsing because we'll keep going, oh, it's okay. And of course, that's not what we're doing. But we all feel quite anxious that we want to be both supportive, but not be continually forgiving behaviour and helping people get into a pattern of coming here to the Club Soda for absolution for their poor behaviour the night before, or for having lapsed or whatever. So the Whoop allows us to ask some questions. What were the obstacles? What was the outcome you're hoping for? What's your plan? What's really the wish that you have? And we're allowed to have wishes, people. We're allowed to want better things for ourselves. We deserve better. So we can help people come to some idea about what their wish is if we can use this process. I'm just going to get rid of that notification. So I'll be really interested in your feedback about this. Over the next week, I want to give you some more tools around a Whoop and a small little survey that you can use to fill in your Whoop and get an email with your Whoop in it, so that you can use it any time and any place in Club Soda. And I would like to see how that goes, but also how we use that as a tool for mutual support. I'll be really interested in your feedback after this webinar as to whether I explained it properly or not, or whether I need to give you a bit of a better explanation and a bit more information, which I can do. But it's basically a short introduction to Whoop. And I'm going to leave it there shortly. I'm just going to answer a few questions that have come up. Cool. So, yes, I think there are no specific questions. I think trying this out might be useful. You, 7 or 8 of you that have been on this webinar, are now the early adopters of Whoop. Get you, early adopters of a system. But I will try and flow out some more information about Whoop over the next few weeks, and then let's see how it goes. But please, I'm really keen that you tell me if I didn't explain anything well, if you'd like me to explain anything more, if you'd like more examples or anything like that. If you can let me know, that would be really helpful.